Welcome back, Karptastic ladies and gentlemen, to another Fun Friday episode in this PTCGO series. Fun Friday is all about having fun with cards that you don't typically see necessarily, or with rogue decks and things like that, even with silly decks. And today we are going to have some fun with Seeking from the Breakthrough expansion. If you want to skip to certain parts of the video, click the annotations that I have prepared for you with much love on the left hand side of the screen, or click the timestamps in the description. Seeking is a stage 1 with 90 hit points and the Soaking Horn attack. If this Pokemon was healed during this turn, this attack does 80 more damage. It has 10 as a base, so it does 90. That is a 2-hit knockout on EXs. Also got the Reckless Charge attack, hits for 40 and does 10 damage to itself, so there is some synergy between those two attacks, but typically we will want to go for the Soaking Horn as much as we can, so we are going to try to put some damage on Seeking in other ways, not by using the Reckless Charge. I have 4 copies of Seeking and then 4 copies of Goldeen. Goldeen has also got synergy with Seeking's first attack with the Reckless Charge, hits for 20 and also does 10 damage to itself. Now there's plenty of ways you could build a Seeking deck. There is a ton of ways. You could, for example, do it with evolutions. That's for sure a possibility. Try to take advantage of type weaknesses. So if you're facing Yveltal, you could play down a Jolteon, hit for weakness, 90 times 2, that's 180, that's a knockout on Yveltal. So that's for sure a possibility. Has very good matchups against Yveltal. The deck that I'm showing you here today hasn't got very good matchups against Yveltal, so there's a trade-off. I've built a deck, an Archie's version of Seeking. Archie's Seeking is what you could call it, with Aurorus. And Aurorus is going to be the Pokemon that we are going to be arching onto our bench. Has got the Ice Shield attack. Any damage done by an opponent's attack to each of your water Pokemon that has any water energy attached to it is reduced by 20. So that means that if someone decides to attack our Seeking, their attack damage will be reduced by 20, and hopefully that will help us to keep Seeking alive a little bit longer. That is the idea behind this build. It's not a very, well, I would say, competitive idea, not at all. This deck is just a deck for fun, and I wanted to try to get Aurorus working with Seeking. That's basically what it comes down to. I wanted to have fun with those two cards in the same deck. There's probably much better options, much better stage 2s, stage 1s as well, or stage 2s to Archie together with Seeking, but I wanted to have fun with Aurorus and Seeking, and that's what we are going to do. We've also got Jynx. Jynx is going to be one of the ways we are going to heal, because in order to do this 90 damage we do have to heal our Seeking up. So Jynx is going to be the main way actually that we are going to do that. The other way is using Rough Seas, 1 copy of Rough Seas in this deck. Then I've got 3 Unowns and 2 Shaymins to draw through this deck, just because we need to pull off the Archie and we want to do it in our first turn. So we need a lot of consistency, a lot of draw support, and Unown and Shaymin help us with that. And the other cards that help us with that are Trainers Mail, 3 copies of Trainers Mail Ultra Ball. Very important, not only to get out our Shaymin, but also to reduce our hand size, because if we want to pull off the Archie, we must have Archie in our hand as the last card, or a VS Seeker, with which we could get an Archie from the discard pile. So having these Ultra Balls to reduce our hand is very important, and oftentimes they will be one of the last cards you play before you play Archie. Same goes for this Reserved Ticket. With Reserved Ticket we can play down, and we can actually, if we flip heads, we can search our deck for any card, put it on top, and then we could, for example, get out a card using our Unown. So if we have an Unown on the bench, we could farewell letter for the card that we put on top of our deck with the Reserve Ticket. Very, very helpful card, and makes this deck a whole lot more consistent. Then 3 Battle Compressors to compress our Aurorus in the discard pile, because they need to be in the discard pile if you want to Archie them, as well as to compress our Archies so we can get them back with VS Seekers potentially, or to compress some other cards. As soon as you've compressed Aurorus, you are most likely going to be compressing your other compressors if you draw into another compressor, if that even makes sense. because you only need this compressor to discard your Aurorus. And one other way you could do that is with these Ultra Balls, but that's basically the only ways you could do that, except for these 2 Sycamores, which are used for draw support. But in your first turn, you do not want to use them, because you want to use that Archie with the Aurorus. Let's see, what else do we have? One switch. Oftentimes you won't start off with a Goldeen because we have so many other basics. This switch is going to be necessary to switch into the Goldeen. And then I also have the Olympia as the switching option. Now, one thing to note is the first 2 battles that you will see today will have AZ in place of Olympia, because I didn't have Olympia in my collection yet. When I recorded the first 2 battles, I had my trade up on the trade, so I had AZ as a replacement. And between the second and the third battle, my trade was completed, so I put in Olympia, and Olympia is much better than AZ, because for example, if our opponent Lysandres out our Aurorus and we have already used our switch, then the only way we can retreat Aurorus is by either attaching 3 energies, which we are never going to do. We only run 7 energy, 3 water energy and 4 rainbow. So we are never going to attach 3 energies to Aurorus. The only other way would be to use AZ, scoop it up, but then we cannot put it down again, since it is a stage 1. So we would have to Archie another Aurorus on our bench. Contrary to that, Olympia doesn't require us to scoop up the Aurorus. Instead, we can play down Olympia and then switch the Aurorus onto our bench, and at the same time heal 30 damage from it. One other use case where Olympia is very important is if you are facing Trevenant, if you are going first against Trevenant, and you manage to pull off that turn 1 Archie, and if then your opponent Lysandres out your Aurorus, then Olympia is your only way to switch. And if you didn't have Olympia in this deck, then our only way would be the switch, and under Trevenant we cannot use a switch, so we would be stuck with Aurorus in the active spot. So Olympia is really a very important card in this deck list. And I think that is basically it for the deck analysis. I also have 1 Rough Seas. This is the alternate way of healing our Aurorus. And then 3 muscle bands, very important to put muscle bands onto our Seeking, because 10 plus 80 plus 20 from the muscle band, that is 110. And guess what? That is enough to knock out a Shaymin-EX. Oh, trade completed. Look at that. Another trade was completed. Yeah, and if we can Lysandre out Shaymin, we really want to do it. So that's why we have 1 copy of Lysandre in this deck, because it's a very easy price for us. And then finally, there's 4 Puzzles of Time. The Puzzles of Time will allow us to get back these stadiums. That's why we can run only 1 copy of them. We can use our puzzles to get them back if we need to. But we can also use them to get back our Seekings, since we probably will need to do that. We only have 4 Seekings, and if my opponent is trying to take 6 prizes by knocking out all of our Seekings, as soon as he's knocked out 4, we are left without attackers. So we need to shuffle back those Seekings in the deck, and Puzzle of Time is one way to get them back into our hands. Super Rod is the other way. And one thing I forgot to mention is we are playing Rainbow Energy, because that is the main way we are going to put some damage onto our Seeking to heal off with the Jynx. And that is it. Let me show you the general overview for the deck. This is the deck that we are going to be having a ton of fun with today. At least I hope I will be having a ton of fun, and that you will be having a ton of fun watching me having a ton of fun. With that being said, leave a like if you enjoy this video, and subscribe to my channel for more fun, silly and competitive deck ideas, and I'll see you in the battles in a second. Our first opponent is Rafat90 with a colorless water and a fighting deck. Garbodor, no, Garchomp, Shaymin and Octillery, or Lucario and something else. That would be my bet here. We will try to go first, and we can go first. We need to pull off our Archie in our first turn. Can we do it? Oh boy. That is the worst hand ever to start off with. That is a really bad hand. So we will hopefully get something nice from that Trainers Mail, an Ultra Ball or something. That would be good. There is an Archie with an Ultra Ball now. That would be pretty good. Yes, we get that Ultra Ball. Can discard the Archie and the Aurorus, or I could discard a Muscle Band and an Aurorus and keep the Archie in hand. And I think I'm going to keep the Archie in hand, discard the Aurorus and a Muscle Band and get the Shaymin out. We will draw into some more cards with the Shaymin. I'm going to bench the Stadium. This is a Cubone, so it's not a Garchomp deck, it's a Marowak deck. And I'm going to waste my Muscle Band on the Unown as well as that Energy, which is a little bit sad. But we need to draw into some more cards here. See if we can find some basics. I could have gone for the Archie there, didn't really want to do that just yet. I could Puzzle of Time. Puzzle of Time, get back a Muscle Band and the Aurorus. And then go for an Archie. I could do that. And I think I will. I'm going to Puzzle of Time. Get back the Aurorus to discard it with my Ultra Ball once again. Yeah, we'll get back that Muscle Band. Could go for the Trainer's Mail, but I think I want to go with this. Put that Muscle Band onto our Goldeen. And then Ultra Ball. Get rid of this Sycamore and the Aurorus. Bench the Jynx. Or maybe, yeah, I'm gonna bench a Jynx already. I would love to get another Goldeen. And then we are going to Archie. Yes, we succeeded. Despite that really bad first hand. We get some reserve tickets and there is another Goldeen. Do I want to hit those reserve tickets? Let's see if we can hit a reserve ticket. We failed this one. Let's see if we can hit this one and then potentially get something with the Unown that we want. And we fail it again. Never mind. We can go for the Sycamore in the next turn. For now we will leave the Unown in the active spot. We'll end our turn here. So we got set up pretty nicely here. Yeah, actually really nicely. 2 Goldeens, the Jynx, and just an energy attachment to the Cubone. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, too bad we top deck another VS Seeker. I'm going to Sycamore my hand away here. That's the only thing I can really do. And I'm going to look for a Rainbow Energy. Can we get that Rainbow Energy? We cannot. I could go for a Shaymin here. Let's take a look at the Trainer's Mail. Puzzle of Time or a Muscle Band. Let's get a Muscle Band in our hands. I'm not going to use it just yet. I'm going to retreat into the Goldeen. We are still missing our Seeking as well. And then we shall use the Unown. Maybe get out our Shaymin first. Discard that Jynx. I don't think we'll need it. Discard this. The Archie. Let's discard the Archie. We have some more VS Seekers to get them back. And let's get out, actually, let's get out the... let's get out the Shaymin. And we'll put a Muscle Band onto the Goldeen on the bench. We draw into a card with the Unown. What is it? It is an Aurorus. That's not what we wanted to see. Can we get an Ultra Ball to discard that Aurorus? We have used 4 Ultra Balls. Never mind, we have used them all. And a Trainer's Mail. We are just digging here. We'll leave that in the deck. We'll draw into some more cards with our Shaymin. Where are our Seekings? Where are our Energies? There is an Energy, but no Seeking just yet. So what we will do is we'll just hit for the Reckless Charge and put some damage on ourselves. The Cubone can hit us for 50 actually and knock us out. Yeah, I cannot... Oh, and that's knockout actually. Unless it tails. There is the Cubone, the Marowak, which can hit for a Bone Windmill. And there is a knockout on our Goldeen. I cannot believe that we missed out on our Seeking. We are down to 18 cards. That is pretty insane. And there is the Seeking. I will have to go with another Sycamore. Discard our last VS Seekers. We need an energy. So our cards are in some awkward order within our deck. Now we top deck, now we get 3 energy. That is more than we need, and that is going to be a knockout. We will heal our Seeking with the Victory Kiss. And how many hit points do we have? We have 120 indeed, so the Aurorus is working with the Rainbow Energy, and we will hit for the Seeking Horn. Hitting for the knockouts, taking the game against my opponents. Very short game here, but a very good showcase of how it is supposed to work. Now let's find another game where the tension is a bit higher, where maybe it's a neck-to-neck race, is that how you say it, where the game is going back and forth between me and my opponent, because this was pretty one-sided. There was the occasional, there was the occasion where I missed out on the Seeking, but we were still looking fairly well. I did 160 damage with the Seeking. I think that is pretty impressive by itself. So let's see if we can find another opponent. The second opponent of the day is Gizmo99 with a fire deck, which is pretty good for us, because we hit for weakness then, and we are going to start off first, try to pull off our Archie in our first turn, helping us out here to stay alive a little bit longer. We have a Shaymin start, pretty bad start. 2 puzzles as well. This is not what we want to see. Not at all. Oh boy, there is an Archie. Let's discard the Seeking and the Archie's ace in the hole. See if we have another Shaymin. We do have another Shaymin. Okay, I'm going to have to grab that Shaymin. And then I'm going to level ball for a Goldeen. Do I want to use these Puzzles of Time now? Not really, not just yet. I'm just going to draw into 3 cards and see what I can get from those 3 cards. Can we get a Battle Compressor? We do get a Battle Compressor. Alright, I think we can pull it off here. I'm going to Battle Compress 1 Aurorus and 1 AZ, so that we have access to the AZ. And then also, what am I going to Battle Compress as well? I think that is it. Maybe the Lysandre. Let's Battle Compress the Lysandre. We're going to use our puzzles. Get back a Ultra Ball. 1 Ultra Ball. And then we shall also get back a Level Ball. Or, yeah, a Level Ball. Let's get back a Level Ball. We need to find our Super Rod to get back some Seekings. Definitely need to do that. So I'm going to have to discard the Seeking and the Aurorus. Look for a Jynx. Let's go for a Jynx, and now we are going to level ball for an Unown. That should leave us with 1 more spot for the Aurorus. So there is the Unown, and we have got it. Yes, we have. We managed to pull off the Archie here. We can get the Aurorus in play. Both are already in the discard pile as well. And if we can get rid of our Unown, we could get another Aurorus in play as well. But we draw into a very, very bad hand here. Let's use the Farewell Letter. I should have used the Puzzle of Time first, but never mind. We drew into a VS Seeker, which is really good. We can pick up our Shaymin from the active spot in the next turn with the AZ. I'm going to bench a Goldeen for now. So if my opponent Lysandre's out any Goldeen, we have the other one left to go. And then I will Battle Compress. Maybe Battle Compress a Sycamore. Let's Battle Compress 1 Sycamore so we have access to the Sycamore. We have 1 VS Seeker. What do we have left? Another VS Seeker there, so only 2 VS Seekers. Let's leave the Sycamore in deck then. And let's Battle Compress the 1 Reserved Ticket. We won't have much need for that. 1 Battle Compressor. And do we have anything else? There's another Reserved Ticket. I could get rid of the Puzzle of Time, but you never know, we might top deck it. Yeah, I think we need everything else in our deck, so I'm going to just discard those 2 cards. And I am going to keep the Puzzle of Time in hand for now. I will end my turn here. Unfortunately, we did not get an energy attachment. That is just a little bit unfortunate. We need to find a Rainbow Energy in the next turn. And that would be a one-hit KO on the Flareon EX. Even if it's, well, not with a Fighting Fury belt attached. Then we would need to find a Muscle Band. Maybe I should have looked at this Puzzle of Time. I probably should have. The chances of us drawing into the last puzzle are not very high. Very, very small actually. And just the pass of the turn, so my opponent has a pretty bad start. Okay, I'm going to pick up the Shaymin with my AZ. I'm going to thin out my hands most likely. We'll promote the Goldeen. Let's try to hit the reserve tickets. It's a Tails. Let's put down the Rough Seas. Let's take a look at the Puzzle of Time. An Unown, an Energy, and an Ultra Ball. Excellent. That's all we need really. That is all we need, and I think we have the game here then. But once again we have the game. Yep. Yes, we have, because my opponent doesn't have a Muscle Band attached. Doesn't have a Fighting Fury belt attached. So all we need to do is get our Seeking out and hit for our Reckless Charge. No, our Seeking Horn, that's what it's called. Our Seeking Horn for the knockout against Flareon EX. Another very quick game here. My goodness, my goodness. And we managed to set up pretty neatly as well. Okay, I will find myself one more final game, and if it's another short game, I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to keep looking until I find a longer game. The last opponent of the day is Fungus 654 with a water deck, possibly Greninja Break, very, very likely. Very nice deck box, by the way. I like the coloring on that. The Xerneas with the blue background, and then the colorful horns, is that what you call it? The thing on his head. If this is Greninja Break, I don't know what we are going to do here. We will just have to try to outspeed it. That's the only way we can deal with it, I think. Yeah, I believe that's the only way. Oh my goodness. That is one heck of a bad hand. 3 stage 1s and an Archie and, oh, it's a Golduck. And a Rough Seas, a Dive Ball. Maybe this is just a Gyarados deck. Remoraid. Yeah, we really need an Ultra Ball or something here. And a red card. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Fungus 654. Oh, wow. That is actually helping us out. Even though it's still a bad hand, it's definitely better than what we used to have. And there is a switch. Let's end our turn. There's nothing else we can do. So bad hand after bad hand, apparently. Let's hope we can draw into a consistency card sooner rather than later here. We've yet to see my opponent play down an attacker. The Golduck Break is not going to be his attacker. I would be very surprised if he were to use Golduck Break as a main attacker in a deck. That'd be interesting, but very surprising. There is Evo Soda for the Golduck. What could the Golduck attack us for? Hydro Splash for 70 or 20. Discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. It's a Gyarados deck. Oh my goodness. This Octillery is going to mutate into a Gyarados. My opponent is trying to have it evolve into a Mega Gyarados. Derail for 20, for 40 because of the Muscle Bands. Can we get something? We get a Battle Compressor. Alright, we'll Battle Compressor a 2 Aurorus, 1, 2, and a Sycamore. Yeah, okay, so I was checking here if Aurorus only decreased damage output for us. So if our opponent attacks us and not the other way around, otherwise I might not want to get it out. I will also use a Sycamore. Okay, I thought they might be priced, but there they are. So we will switch into the Goldeen here. And I will Sycamore. Unfortunate we had both the Archie and the VS Seeker, otherwise we could have pulled the Archie right there. Jynx, Unown. We actually need a Rainbow Energy. Let's see. I don't want to play the Rough Seas. Can I hit the Rainbow Energy with the reserve tickets? No reserve tickets. What is behind this Trainer's Mail? An Ultra Ball and a VS Seeker. Let's get out that Ultra Ball. Discard the Trainer's Mail and the Water Energy. We need to get a knockout here on that Golduck. Let's get a... oh no, a Shaymin. We have an Ultra Ball for a Seeking. So all we need is a Rainbow Energy. That's all we need to get going. And that will force my opponent to promote the Octillery. And no Rainbow Energy. We have another reserve ticket. We could try to hit it with that. Let's get another Unown. And now we shall try to hit the reserve ticket. Please, please, heads. Yes, it's heads. Let's put that Rainbow Energy on top of our deck. Get it out with the Unown. Attach it to our Goldeen. Then we will search for a... we'll search for... let's discard the Puzzle of Time and the... maybe not, the Goldeen and the Unown. We'll search for the Seeking. And then we shall shuffle back the Unowns and that Goldeen with our Super Rod. Maybe an Energy, maybe Goldeen Energy and the Unown. Yes, we'll go for the Energy, Goldeen and the Unown, shuffle that back, and then we'll use the Puzzle of Time. Is that the second Puzzle of Time that we've used? Is the first one. We'll use the Puzzle of Time to guide our top deck. Oh wow, wow. We would have top decked an Archie. That is amazing. So we will heal up here, Victory Kiss. And we are going to hit for the knockout on the Golduck. My goodness, we came back there. We definitely came back there. What do we get? A Puzzle of Time. That's okay. We can discard that Puzzle of Time. So we can go for our Archie. Super Rod for the Golduck. Yeah, we don't want to see my opponent get a Golduck breakout together with the Gyarados. Because if that happens, we can never knock out that Gyarados. My opponent could just heal up the Gyarados constantly. In the next turn, we'll have to go for a Reckless Charge. Put some damage on ourselves so the Octillery will stay alive. My opponent can attach an energy to the Octillery to retreat it. Let's burn the Puzzle of Time. Get this, I suppose. It's not really what I want to draw into with the Archie. But it is what we will have to draw into. Get that Aurorus on our bench. And there is a Seeking. We want to get a Goldeen if we can. Really want to get a Goldeen and Tails on the reserve ticket. I could actually decide to attack with the Aurorus at some point, but we would need to attach a whole lot of energy to it. For now, we will just hit for the Reckless Charge. Put 10 damage on ourselves. My opponent should not be able to knock us out. She can hit us for 60. He can hit us for 60. Oh, max potions. The Octillery is going to retreat into the Manaphy. So we won't see an attack just yet. I was not expecting a max potion on the Octillery. That's 2 max potions in the discard pile already. And a red card. That is good. We were stuck with a bad hand. We are still stuck with a bad hand. We need a Goldeen. We have many Unowns in our deck and many Goldeen as well. We just need to be able to draw into them. There's a Battle Compressor. We have used one Super Rod, so we cannot use another one. And we cannot one-hit KO that Manaphy either. Let's attach another Rainbow Energy so we can attack twice. Victory Kiss. Heal up. And then we shall get out a Goldeen. I'm going to discard the Seeking and the Battle Compressor. I need another Goldeen. So we've got 2 more Seeking and 3 more Goldeen. That should be sufficient, I hope. We will hit for the Soaking Horn. In the next turn, if my opponent does not retreat the Manaphy, we'll hit for a let's see, we'll hit for a reckless charge, put 10 damage on ourselves once again, and that way we can keep attacking. Thanks to the second attachment there. There's no need to go for a Soaking Horn in the next turn, so we don't need to heal off any damage. And there is the Psygulk once again. My opponent keeps trying at getting it out. Can we maybe get a VS Seeker for a Lysandre? And my opponent decides to attack us actually. Alright. So I'm actually going to heal up then, otherwise my opponent might be able to knock us out. No, he would not. Only if the Manaphy would stay alive he would be able to knock us out, but slowly healing up now is the best option. Since we have lots of damage counters on the Seeking to work with. So we are going to hit for the Soaking Horn for the knockout. Take 2 prizes. And what do we get? We get a Muscle Band and a Training Center. Training Center is excellent, and my opponent is going to sacrifice that Psyduck once more. He benches another Psyduck. Where are his Gyarados? We haven't seen one single Gyarados. Maybe all of his Gyarados are prized. Look at what he is discarding. Is this maybe an Archie's deck? Archie's Gyarados. There is a Gyarados. Finally we see a Gyarados. 1 Mega Gyarados in a discard pile. How many Spirit Links in a discard pile? 1 Spirit Link. So he has got some more Spirit Links for sure. Alright, we shall slowly heal ourselves up. And might as well. Do we want to put down that stadium? And not just yet, not just yet. There is no point. Reckless charge for 110. Can we get something here? A VS Seeker. I want to get a VS Seeker or a Battle Compressor and a VS Seeker. I just want to get a Lysandre, start attacking that Gyarados. Why did my opponent promote the Gyarados? Hex Maniac. Okay, so we will not be able to heal off if my opponent uses that Hex Maniac. We won't be able to heal off any damage. And there is the Hex Maniac. He's used 3 VS Seekers now, so he cannot use the VS Seeker. He cannot use the Hex Maniac all that often anymore. Only one more time, unless he runs Puzzles of Time, but I don't think he does that. Do we retreat our Seeking here? He's going to attack us in the next turn. I'm going to retreat into the Jynx actually. We have an energy here in hand. We have 2 more puzzles in deck. We can get back energies with the puzzles. Yeah, let's retreat into the Jynx. Give him a knockout on a Jynx. And we will respond with a Jynx of our own. Bench another Jynx. That way we preserve some attackers. We might actually need them. Oh, and a Glalie. That's why my opponent plays red cards for the Glalie. He needs to watch out for the deck out. He's down to 3 cards. Oh boy. How are you going to take 6 prizes in 3 turns, my friend? He could knock out Lysandre out or Shaymins. He has no VS Seekers for Lysandres anymore. He might have the Lysandres in deck still. We are going to promote our Seeking. And then we shall attack with the Seeking. Bench our Jynx here. Even if he knocks out this Jynx, I think we have it. He's down to 3 cards. I think that's GG. Do we want to bench the stadium? I think we will. We are going to bench the stadium. Hit with the Soaking Horn. For 110 damage. We've got 100 hit points. He's hitting for 130. That's still going to be a knockout regardless. So the stadium didn't really matter. And there it is, the first knockout, the second knockout for my opponent. He's softening up his bench there. But we are going to take the game against Gyarados, the Mega Gyarados deck. We even get a Lysandre. We just need to get out our Seeking, which we should have in the deck. There it is. Seeking and a muscle band. That is more than enough. A pretty convincing win to close off today's episode, I think. Soaking Horn for 110. And a VS Seeker and a Trainer's Mail. What our last two prizes. I've taken a lot of prize wheels prizes here apparently today. But I fell on the same prize and this time, so no new prize for me, no new item box. Too bad. I still have 3 left, I think. Let's take a quick look at the stats. 730 damage dealt versus 400 for my opponent. Seeking MVP against Gyarados EX. That's again one for the books, I think. How often do you see that? Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I was quite lucky with the matchups, I think, because during testing I lost a lot more than I did right now here. Yveltal is a terrible matchup. Trevenant, terrible matchup for this deck. This deck is not meant to be competitive. This deck is meant to be a version of Seeking and Aurorus that is as consistent as it can be. There's many other ways to build Seeking decks, but I think none of them will ever be competitive. But I had my fun, and that's what it's all about with Fun Friday. I hope you had your fun too. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel for more fun. And I will see you next time. Have a Karp-tastic day.
Karp, 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 Karp.